All right, welcome back to part 2. So the first thing I want to do is export out my guides so I can always re-import them if something ever goes wrong, or if I want to use it to start off a new character with. If I had another quadruped, for example. So to do this, we're going to select the guides group here. So I'm not doing that. I'm just selecting the guides group. And we're going to go here under the shifter. So remember that's just here under Mgear, shifter, and I tore it off earlier. And we're going to export the guide template. Now I've already got a couple here because I was testing it out earlier, but let me just give it a name. So that way if I have a character or if I need to start fresh for whatever reason, I could always go in and open up a scene like my start file. And I can always import my guide template. And it'll just import it in, and I'll be able to start exactly where I left off from. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is generate my skeleton. It's pretty straightforward. Again, you just select the group, and then you click on this guy right here, build from skeleton. And I'll just take a second or two. And there we go. So now we've got our skeleton. One thing I'm going to want to do is click on the rig file, and there's a bunch of things we can turn on or off here, but I want to turn this guy on. This one's neat. It'll let you see the controls through your geometry, which is pretty cool. Oh, somebody got a hold of me. Let me just see here. So I will want to probably scale down some of these controls. So let me just minimize that for now. We got this guy. I'm going to go over to my rig bit section now. And I'm just going to modify the controls a little bit here. So I'm going to do this by... Now, it's a little bit irritating the way this is. It didn't used to be like this, I'm pretty sure. I thought you could just go in and select stuff, but I'm going to have to go over to component mode and just modify things on a vertice level, right? So I can kind of scale things down this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale similar things down. And the cool thing is I can select one, select another, and then I can click on this option here, replace shape. And it'll just automatically snap to the same size. So I don't have to do too much work. I just have to do it like once, basically. So I'm going to go in here and do the same thing. So back over to component mode. And I'm going to click on this and scale it down because it's way too big. And I'm going to select this guy, select that guy, and replace shape. And replace shape, right? So I can very quickly kind of go through that. The tail looks okay, I think. Whoopsie. See, it's a bit angled, so I am going to have to go back in and tweak that. Now there is a way to export out your controls as well, I'm pretty sure. And I'm just trying to think about how do I do that again. Let's see. I'll have to refresh my memory. But I haven't actually bound anything yet, so I'm wondering if I could fix that. Somewhere along the way, no, that's in there. Somewhere along the way, I wasn't being very careful with my tail placement. So, you know, be careful when you're positioning that stuff, right? So, here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause for a second, and I'm going to just reopen this. Okay, so I'm back. I just have to rescale stuff again. So I fixed that up so it's nice and straight. Easy peasy. So let me see here. Just gonna scale that down. Now it's not just these guys we're gonna have to scale. We'll have to probably go in and modify a bunch of stuff. Let me just go in and maybe just shape this a little bit nicer, perhaps. always does that, doesn't it? That's okay. Something like that might be a little bit easier to see. So again, I'm going to select that, select this, and I'm going to replace shape. Alright, I'll do the same thing for the neck, I guess that is. And I might put that on the top, perhaps. So let me just go back over here. And I'm going to turn on my scale discrete rotate. So, and turn off symmetry. So that way I can snap it around. And just move it up that way. This could be a bit smaller maybe. This is the head. I'm going to just hide the guides, so I'm not going to select those by accident. Let's see if I can get in there. It's so tricky. The ears, I'm wondering if maybe I didn't go quite on the right angle for those. Let me just see here. I can go and modify them slightly. There it is here. And you know what? You know, maybe it is good. Right? Maybe that is good. It's just the controls are weird, that's all. No worries though. I can. Or worries. Let's see. There we go. That's what I want to do. I wish this was a little bit better aligned, to be honest. So I'm going to cheat it just a little bit. And then let's see if this works. It does, look at that. Perfect. And what about over here? Nope, we can't do that. Mirror control shape. Left to right. I should have done selection. Alright, let's just try that again. Selection. There we go. That's a bit easier. What's this? Is that the jaw? Now the jaw's a little bit funny, just so you know. It does kind of over move. Like it moves too much if you use this thing. So there are some controls to dial that down, which we'll probably need to use. They're on this little guy here, which I'm going to want to make bigger. So let me just go back over here. And let's go that bigger. So this is our head controls and stuff. Now this could go right beside the head perhaps, since it is specific to the head. So I'm just going to shift it over and put it here beside the head. These guys can be shrunk down too. This one. And again, I'm just going to mirror that over. There we go. See? Easy peasy. Now that didn't mirror over though. So we'll have to do this one. There we go. Now maybe this one needs to be bigger. Or maybe it should be shifted away just a little bit. So let me go into my here, just move it out slightly. And same thing, right? I can just mirror that over. Okay, so these guys might want to be a bit bigger. Just so you can see them with the geometry on. So I'm just going to go through and just do all of them at once. Now this got messed up somehow. Huh. Yeah, because that should be back here. So what happened there? Okay, so just be careful when you're moving stuff around. I must have moved that by accident. So I went back, I just created a few things over again. But that's okay. So we've got these guys. These are for the ankle rotation. So you can go up on the, here, let me just get rid of the discrete move. So you can go up on the ball of the foot of the character. So I want that to be a little bit larger. So, you know, so it's coming out of the foot slightly. So I'm just going to go in and scale that out. So just so it's easy to select, right? And we'll select that. If I can. And mirror that over. And then I'm going to attach it over here. So replace shapes, and then mirror that over. Oops. Mirror that over. There we go. Now this is the main foot mover, right? That's the main movement for the foot, this guy. So I might want that to be slightly larger as well. So let me just turn off X-ray at this point. And I'm going to go into the top of the rig file and just turn this back on again. There we go. So I want this to be just slightly more visible, if possible. So I'm going to go in and do that. So let's see here. So this looks more kind of polygonal looking. So one thing I could do is just hit the down arrow, just so it's only selecting that guy. Oh, well, that's just not working, is it? What's this guy do? IK controls. What's this guy do? IK. I don't know what the difference is. So you're gonna have to figure that out. I'm not sure which one what that does there. Let's see. So this is like a main IK control. I see. I see, this kind of just offsets this guy right here without moving the foot through kind of like a rotation. Gotcha. Yeah, you might want that a little bit more visible. Now the cool thing is having this X-ray on, you technically don't have to move everything outside of the skin because you can actually see it very clearly here. So, you know, I might, you know, if I were you, just kind of keep it kind of like this maybe. And I think that's going to be pretty good for the most part. So I think we're almost ready to do the binding. I think this is pretty good for what we need. Because as I was saying, you know, you could always go in and just manually select these things. Now you might want to create some controls for doing the feet and toes. Otherwise you do have to do it like manually, which is a bit of a pain. Or you could do some studio library, toe poses and stuff like that. That might be the easiest solution. So I'm going to save this. And then we're going to do some binding. So I'm going to stop this video here. This one's a bit of a shorter one.